All right, welcome back to Build Life. We're here working on the cabin again today. The last time we were together, we thought we'd have both sides of this put together and everything sheeted. Obviously, we didn't make it. So today we're gonna assemble the other half of the floor. We're gonna get all these hangers on, rack it square, straighten it up, sheet it, or close to. We got this other ledger board all laid out, and because we can't just slide the floor out of the way, we're gonna put the hangers on here ahead of time. This one we screwed together first, nailed together, and we'll put the hangers on afterwards. This side, I think both of these, we're gonna put them on first and then drop the joists into the hangers later, because the hangers are really what gives it the strength. So I was watching another channel, I think it was the Perkins Brothers, I'm a big fan, and they had this Hang 'em Fast. It was off Amazon. This is kind of a joist hanger. They click in here, and then you set it on the bottom here, and we take this, it's called a PPT gun, positive placement Tico, I think. I just call it a Tico gun. These nails are called Tico nails. And we're gonna shoot these in place, and then this pulls back out and they'll stay. We're gonna find safety glasses for this. YouTube aside, Gavin likes to laugh about the safety squint, but the paper and plastic off these things are just eye catchers. They are eye magnets. So we wanna wear eye protection for real, not just for YouTube sensationalism. And let's get these laid out. So why don't you grab some glasses, I'll get this gun hooked up and see how this works. All right, so we joke about these safety glasses. It's gonna be a little bit loud, but I have a friend, a guy I used to work for. His name is Steve as well, and he taught me a lot about roofing. My dad pretty much taught me everything I know. This is number 2 guy. We did these wilderness trips, and then when we didn't have trips, we would do carpentry and roofing. And so I had this other guy, Ted, that worked for him, and Ted always wore like racquetball safety glasses, and we'd always make fun of him. And he'd say, you know, every piece of equipment, every tool you buy, every gun has a warning on it that says wear safety protection. It doesn't say wear gloves, it doesn't say wear steel toe boots, it says wear eye protection. And he says, there's gotta be a reason for that. Ha ha ha, safety squint, we all laughed about it. Fast forward about a year later, and Steve, who along with the help of the rest of us like to make fun of Ted's safety glasses, is now missing an eye from a dog sled accident in Northern Ontario. He is now the biggest spokesman for safety glasses. Take a lesson, goofy or not, it's good to wear your safety glasses. All right, let's grab your gun and get this one laid out. We should be good to go.
As long as I'm at the shop.
We'll see about that. So as soon as Shooty Magoo is done over there, you about done? We are going to even these up. So you can see this one's about a 1/4 inch lower than this, and a lot of it's because these, especially when you're getting these long, these are 24-foot 2x10s, and they're treated. They just turn into hockey sticks. So what I'm hoping we can wind up doing is getting these evened up. We'll secure them to each other, and over the course of building this cabin before we take it apart, these will kind of settle back down onto the beams, which are dead flat, and they'll keep a little memory. I think it'll be about halfway. And then when we get to the spot, this is gonna be a kind of dance of, I don't know, car jacks and all kinds of things to get it back together and flat But we want to get it right now, and I think it'll be easier to do before this deck is screwed together. So you can see here we got this big gap, and I'm gonna try and clamp this together. We should have done it before we put these hangers on because we're kind of gonna be fighting the hangers. Is that side coming together? All right, I think that's all we're gonna get out of it. So we run into kind of a spot where the gun won't fit in there and it's kind of hard to swing the hammer. We're gonna use a palm nailer. Find my knife. And I'm just gonna cut one nail off for demonstration purposes. We're gonna load the nail. Ah! It's loaded! Done. You're doing a good job. All right, well, we just ran and got some lunch, and we had to get some more ledger locks for the rim boards here. We picked out a tool belt for Gavin, so he quit stealing my hammer. We're gonna put these joist hangers down this side. I gotta do some blocking where it changes from interior to exterior, and then we should be ready to square up and get her sheeted. All right, I think let's double up these rim joists so I can put this end one on. It's got to be cut for both the porches, and you can screw the rest of those hangers off. That's all that's left, right down the middle. Okay, plan?
Yep, as long as not
Shop vac. All right, I think all we have left is these two end boards, and these long ones are gonna be what kind of ties the two sections together. So we're gonna put them on and get everything squared up, leveled out, but this board's gonna have to come off to separate these panels and run them to Kentucky. So we're not only gonna have to put them on in such a way they can come off, but when we sheet the floor, we have to be careful to nail to this one and not nail this down, or we won't be able to get it back apart. got the deck framing done. It's time to sheet it. We're gonna kind of straighten it out as we sheet it, I think. So we'll clean it all off here, and then this here is kind of the edge of the plywood. It goes out, around there, back in and out. And then as we come back over here, this is the edge of the interior space, and this is just the deck out here. So we've got some OSB plywood. I want to start with a 2-foot sheet, then do a 4-foot row, and that'll leave us with a 4-foot row that's going to span the joint. And it is not going to be tongue and groove, so that we can just tack it in with some screws, build our cabin, and we'll take the middle row out. So when we're in Kentucky and put it all back together, we'll glue that middle row down and put it down. We may underlay the whole cabin before flooring or something, but it'll be a little unorthodox for what you typically see for tongue and groove. For that reason, I think we're gonna do this without glue. If any of you have been watching the channel, we did our loft here without glue. We used ring shank nails. They hold just as well. I'm afraid that as we start to do utilities and stuff, we might have to pull a sheet or two back off. I don't want to be fighting the glue, much less afraid of a floor squeak. All right, well, we got these first 2 rows on, and to you guys, it's been a fraction of a second. To us, it was about 5 days. So we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of this sheeting on and get that part of it wrapped up here today. We're gonna do, we did tongue and groove for these first 2 rows. This next row is gonna be the same thickness, 3/4 OSB, but we are not going to use tongue and groove so that we can take it back off to separate the panels when we haul it to Kentucky. And after that, we'll continue with tongue and groove for the next 2 rows, a row and a half. Get as much of that tongue and groove as we can, but down the middle, I think not only do we have to take it apart to haul it to Kentucky, but it'll also give us access for plumbing and electric and things that we need to tie together when we get there. So let's get this thing sheeted. Well, we got her all sheeted here, except for that one sheet in the corner. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we are 1 sheet short. I bought all the sheeting a long time ago, figuring we would be 2 8-foot panels. It would come out perfect. Then we made them 100 inches wide. So the last rip, we're gonna have to find something else to do with it. It's about 8 inches short. We gotta buy 1 more sheet. We'll do that next time. When we see you guys, we'll put that sheet in. We're gonna sheet this deck and the 2 on the corner, get the treated lumber on there, as well as laying out the entire floor, so don't miss it.